Today we're going to be talking about handheld equipment. Handheld equipment includes blowers, chainsaws, string trimmers, and many other types of equipment. Handheld equipment can be either 2-stroke or 4-stroke units. In other words, some you mix the gas and oil together, and others you put the oil in the crankcase. And we're going to talk about how to use the mechanic in a bottle in these units. Now, the way we're going to be mixing this, we're going to be mixing it at full strength. Full strength is shop strength, and this is just for fixing the unit at the initial time. For normal running, for maintenance, you would mix 1 ounce per 5 gallons. In other words, this little 2-ounce bottle will treat 10 gallons worth of fuel. We're going to use the chainsaw as a demo. First thing you want to do with any type of power equipment before you work on it is remove the spark plug wire. Second thing we're going to want to do is we're going to drain all of the fuel out. All shops should have some kind of a waste fuel container. 2-gallon or a 5-gallon can would work just fine. Drain your gas. We're not quite done yet. There's still gas in the primer system. You'll have to press the primer button between 6 and 8 times to get all the gas out of the unit. Once it's out, drain the gas one more time. Now we're going to inspect the fuel lines. Because this is a chainsaw, your fuel lines are located within the air filter housing. Keep in mind that fuel lines are rubber, so they're going to be pliable. Do a visual inspection, look at the fuel lines, make sure they're not cracked. Take your fingers and move the fuel lines and make sure they're not hard. Do the same thing with the fuel lines inside the gas tank as well. You might not be able to touch them, but you can take a screwdriver and maneuver around and see if they're good. Check the fuel filter as well and make sure that that is good. If all of that is fine, take your mechanic in a bottle. Using the 2-ounce bottle, pour the entire contents into the tank. Put your fuel cap back on. Now we're going to prime the system, again 6 to 8 times. And what this is going to do, it's going to pick up the mechanic in a bottle out of the fuel tank and get it up into the primer and carburetor. We're going to take this one step further by pulling the starter rope over 2 to 3 times, and that will take the primer, or that will take the mechanic in a bottle that's in the carburetor and move it into the engine. The reason why we're doing that is if there is marginal fuel in the fuel system, that's also gotten into the engine, and we want to clean that up. So pull the rope over a few times and get that mechanic in a bottle into the engine. Now we're ready to just let this thing sit overnight, or 12 hours approximately. Alright, it's the next day, and we're ready for our next step, which is going to be to add fresh gas. In this case, we're adding 2-cycle mixed gas, which is mixed to the manufacturer's recommendation. We want to fill the tank up fully, and the reason we want to fill it up full is to dilute the mechanic in a bottle that's in the machine. Note that the machine will not run on straight mechanic in a bottle. It's got to be diluted. That's why you have to fill the tank up fully. So we'll fill the tank up full. And now we're ready for our next step. The next step we're going to do is we're going to prime the system, again 6 to 8 times, and this is to pick up the fresh gas and get that into the fuel system, into the carburetor. Once the primer bulb is full, replace the spark plug wire, put your air cleaner cover back on, and now we're ready to start the unit. Each manufacturer has a specific way of starting their unit, so please follow the manufacturer's suggested way. After you've got the unit running properly, it is important to check the engine idle RPM and clutch engagement RPM. Refer back to the owner's manual or to the service manual to get the proper settings. That is the end of the video. Thank you for watching.